Hello, folks. I am Alan for today's news. I will be reading and speaking about world news and interesting news to keep you entertained, and news to keep you informed. First thing I got for you right now is from KMOV for St. Louis. It's from the White House. It's a classified document found at Biden's home. Documents with classified markings from President Joe Biden's time as vice president were found at his home in Wilmington, Delaware. The White House said Thursday, days after it was disclosed that sensitive documents were also found at the office of his former Washington Institute. Richard Sauber, a special counsel to the president, said after the initial documents were found by Biden's personal lawyers, they examined other locations where records might have been shipped after Biden left the vice presidency in 2017. So, Sauber said a small number of documents were classified with classified markings were found in a storage space in Biden's garage in Wilmington, with one document being located in the adjacent room. The White House did not say when the subsequent search began or when the additional documents were found, only that the search was completed on Wednesday evening. Sauber said the Department of Justice was immediately notified after the documents were located and that department lawyers took custody of the records. Regardless of the Justice Department review, a revelation that Biden potentially mishandled classified or presidential records is proving to be a headache for Biden, who said former President Donald Trump was irresponsible for keeping hundreds of such records at his private club in Florida. Biden is irresponsible. You don't even know what he's doing half the time. Earlier this week, the White House confirmed that the department was reviewing a small number of documents with classified markings found at the Washington office. Biden's lawyers had discovered the material at the offices of the Penn Biden Center and then immediately called the National Archives about the discovery. The White House said Biden kept an office there after he left the vice presidency in 2017 until shortly before the launch of the Democratic presidential campaign in 2019. The revelation that additional classified documents were uncovered by Biden's team came hours after White House press secretary, whoever her name is, dodged questions about Biden's handling of classified documents and the West Wing's management of the discovery. Anyway, you can read the rest of this in my description box. Here's something here from Newsweek. Russia's greatest military strength has now become its weakness. Vladimir Putin had his eyes on his place in Russian history when he compared his invasion to Ukraine to the expansionism of Peter the Great. It has fallen to us to reclaim the strength, Putin said in 2022. But the Tsar, however you say it, was the beneficiary of cold weather in 1708 and 1709 during the Great Northern War, which helped stop Sweden's Charles the 12th troops from advancing on Moscow. Military historian Anthony Beaver wrote in Foreign Affairs last month. Beaver noted that while the winter has been an asset for Russian war efforts, such as Napoleon Grande retreat from Moscow in 1812 and the turning back of Adolf Hitler's forces from the capitals in World War II, Putin cannot count on the coldest season being the same ally. It may be Russia rather than its adversaries that suffers the worst consequences, Beevor wrote, as the reports abound of shortages of body armor, equipment, and training for Putin's troops, especially the estimated 300,000 newly mobilized reservists. The curious thing about the Napoleonic, or I'm call it, and the Hitler invasion is that in both cases, the invasion thought they were going to be achieving victory before winter sets in, and so they didn't properly prepare their troops for the winter climate. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. We'll go on to the next one here. This is from 1945. Don't be so quick to listen to America's retired generals on Ukraine. It says here, Americans have always loved military leaders, especially generals. The 1970 movie Patton, about his life of the United States' greatest World War II commander, is still popular in America. When the current crop of active and retired generals speak today, it is unsurprisingly that most in our country reflexively accept that they say what they say at face value, especially as their assessment and advice relate to American vital national interests and the Russian-Ukraine war. However, such trust should be recessed. And that's it on that one there, I think. No, there's more. And you can read the rest of that in my description box. This is from Radar Online. Vladimir Putin Deepens feud with Russian mercenary chief who bragged his rogue troops captured key Ukrainian battleground. But let's see, it said here, this one person, can't say his name, who was dubbed Putin's chief before being named chief of the Wagner mercenary group, issued a photo of himself and his mercenaries standing in a salt mine in the eastern Ukrainian town of Soledar. It says up here, Putin released a statement directly contradicting claims made by his mercenary chief that a key Ukrainian salt mining town had been captured. It said here, this person also claimed that he and his private Russian parliamentary fighters along captured Soledar, saying in his statement that this was all done by PMC Wagner with no other help. Wagner units took control of the entire territory. Soledar, a cauldron has been formed in the center of the city in which urban fighting is going on. The number of prisoners will be announced tomorrow, he said. But shortly after his issue statement, the Kremlin released a statement of their own indicating otherwise. Assault squads are fighting in the city, the Kremlin said. They also indicate that Russian forces have blocks Soledar from the northern and southern access of the city, and that the Russian Air Force is still in the process of striking enemy strongholds. And you can read the rest of that in my description box. So I want to read on that one there. Well, this is loading. I'll drink some coffee. This is from the Boston Examiner. Illinois illustrates how Democrats continue to fail on gun control. The Democrat Party gun control agenda follows a reliable pattern In stage one, politicians who have no idea what they are talking about pass a law that wouldn't solve anything. In stage two, the law gets struck down by the courts anyway. Illinois is the latest state to walk down the path. The state passed a bill that would ban the sale of that would block the sale and manufacture of certain semi-automatic firearms, the AR-15 and K8 and AK-47, along with certain handguns and long gun magazines. Among other things, a Democrat Governor Princer, said that the people of his state deserve a real assault weapon ban, one that has a real accounting of weapons currently in circulation and a real chance at seizing the flow of more weapons, increasing the flow of more weapons at war immediately. What makes AR-15s and AK-47 functionally different than any other semi-automatic rifle? That would not be banned by the legislation, noting that those guns, even functionally different from semi-automatic handguns. Of course, not all semi-automatic guns fire one bullet when the trigger is pulled one time. Even if the gun looks scarier to liberals who don't understand how guns work, semi-automatic guns are easily and most common and most popular for self-defense. To ban scary guns or guns with certain historical reputation, such as AK-47 and weapons of the Soviet enemy, doesn't actually make anyone safer. And of course, it also doesn't make anyone safer because it will probably be struck down in court. The Supreme Court has recently shut down Maryland's assault weapons ban, and California and New Jersey magazine bans. Illinois managed to pass something that would accomplish nothing and be unceremonial struck down, just as other Democrat states had done. You almost have to admire the commitment to embarrassment. You're going to read the rest of this in my description box. Anyway, I was reading yesterday that a lot of law officials in Illinois said they're not going to go with the ban, And he told them that if they don't go with the ban, they can just hit the road and lose their job. But anyway, we'll see what goes on with all that later. This one from Womanio. I don't know how I say that. Dr. Fauci paid Chinese virologists to create a bioweapon virus. I read about this before in one of my news programs. Benny Johnson tweets, I think it's a repeat. Yeah, it was put out yesterday, though. Fauci paid Chinese virologists to create a bioweapon virus. I've been telling people that, this virus, COVID-19, is a bioweapon. Nobody will listen, though. Benny Johnson, a columnist, shared an explosive tweet regarding the coronavirus pandemic. The godfather of the conservative internet, as he is known among his fans, and the chief creative officer at Turning Point, claims that Chinese virologists created the pandemic. The person behind it is Dr. Fauci. And see where it says here. It says down here, Dr. Fauci promised a surprise pandemic during the Trump administration, a day before Donald Trump was sworn in as president. Johnson asked if this was the largest crime in human history. Benny, who graduated from Iowa University, left his Twitter followers with the question: largest crime in human history. This divided the Twitter community, with many calling Johnson a clown, while others shared that Fauci should be arrested. I think they should look into Fauci and then charge him with a crime. Get the proof first. Anyway, you can read the rest of this in my description box. This is from Fox News. Migrants are drinking all day, having sex in the stairs in taxpayer-funded New York hotels. This is from a whistleblower. An employee at Row.
This is bags and bags
Hold on.
of food being thrown away because the migrants don't want to eat them, and they just go waste. This is all food that is going to waste. This is insane. This is fresh.
Trying to mute my speaker. Still be playing because this picture here is muted.
This is good food, but they don't want to eat it. They said they don't like it.
Now, what you just saw,
Let me pause that. It's muted, but it's still playing. Freaking technologies. I might have cut my speakers off manually. I'll fix that. Okay, let me start this over. Migrants are drinking all day, having sex in stairs and taxpayer-funded New York hotels. This is from a whistleblower. An employee at Row, one of New York City's best-known hotels, became a whistleblower Wednesday after he released video and photos of illegal immigrants trashing the hotel and leaving fresh food out to rot. It's a disgrace, Row New York City employee Philip Rodriguez said on Fox News, hosted by Laura Ingraham show, the Ingraham Angle. The chaos that we see at the Row today is caused by migrants being drunk, drinking all day, smoking marijuana, and consuming drugs, Rodriguez said. He also said that the Row is struggling with domestic violence among migrants, young people having sex in the stairs, and a fight between a migrant and a hotel security officer. This is Biden's doing, He's just bringing dangers into America. Rodriguez shared videos of fresh, good food setting out to rot in trash bags because the migrants don't want to eat them. They said they don't like it, he said. This is all food that is going to waste. This is insane. More than 36,400 migrants have come to New York City in the last few months and have been housed at just 14 hotels, according to Rodriguez. Let's see. Rodriguez explained that the employees have lost control over the hotel. He said the migrants have started to believe they own the place. The farm in which they keep their rooms in Horridus, they don't clean it. They don't fold their clothes. They're hoarding clothes. They're hoarding whatever they can hoard. There's no accountability, Rodriguez said. Rodriguez said that the struggle in 2017 to pay his car, gas, and electric bills, but the migrants have none of those responsibilities. there was a lot of stuff that I had to be responsible for. Fortunately for the migrants, they got the government of the United States to hand them carte blanche to pretty much do as they wish. They go in and out at hotels at will. Anyway, you can read the rest of this later in my description box. Let me hit this here. It says here, risks of sickness are also at the risk of the row. Rodriguez said, there are people sick in the hotels that are spreading all types of illnesses like chickenpox and COVID, but nobody is speaking out against the migrants. Abuse of the hotel and its employees, Rodriguez said. The ones that have all the power are the migrants. The hotel workers lost their power in the hotel. Well, they called the cops. Put a bunch of donuts over there and then have the cops come. Anyway, let's go on to something else. Stuff pisses me off. Okay, this from the Associated Press. Oh man, my time's over. U.S. official warns of risk posed by heavy electric vehicles. This is from Detroit. The head of the National Transportation Safety Board expressed concern Wednesday about the safety risks that have electric vehicle pose if they collide with lighter vehicles. So does it mean the people with electric vehicle have to pay higher insurance costs because they're too heavy and they'll destroy the lighter cars and the people in them? That's something to think about. If you get an EV, especially a heavy one, battery itself I think weighed like 2,900 pounds. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna read for you today. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, or come back at least. Anyway, until tomorrow. This is Alan for today's news. Later.